Hello and welcome to the Edgy Games channel. This is Josiah, and I've got opinions on gaming stuff. Haven't posted anything on this channel in a really long while. That's just because, I've been busy. The people who I like to do stuff with on this channel have been busy. It's just been really busy lately. So it's very tough. Not only that, but I've been playing a lot of Zelda. I've been playing a lot of Mario Kart 8, and the next couple of videos are probably going to be talking about those sorts of things. Speaking of this video, what is this video going to be about? So, I made a video earlier about how a lot of people were worried about the DLC of Breath of the Wild. And after playing Breath of the Wild, people felt, and myself included, that it was a complete game. The DLC that would be involved in Breath of the Wild probably would not be it wouldn't be unwarranted. It wouldn't be a problem. It wouldn't be an issue. Except for me, because when I beat Breath of the Wild, and don't worry, I'm going to talk about how much I love Breath of the Wild in another video, but not this video. This video is going to be talking about recently DLC has been the specifics of the summer DLC have been released, and I'm not too happy. I'm not too happy about it. So let's look at what. Basically, I beat the game and there was no hero mode, which made me worried. Now, if it's because I didn't complete certain things in the game, because I didn't. I beat Ganon before I went into any of the Divine Beasts. So, if there is a hero mode after you beat the Divine Beasts or anything like that, please tell me, because I don't actually know. But other than that, I got the feeling that this wasn't a complete game on release. Now, if you're gonna make something not complete in the game, it should be things after it, like hero mode and stuff like that. So if you're gonna, well, first of all, let me talk about what specifically the DLC we're talking about, okay? So first off the list, there's costumes, right? There's a Midna helmet, which I'm pretty excited about. There is a Majora's Mask, so that's pretty cool. There's the what else is there? There's the Phantom armor, which is kind of the Phantom Knight that Zelda controls, I believe, in Spirit Tracks. I could be wrong about that, but there's that armor, and then there's the Tingle set, which you can dress like Tingle. I think I love that. I'm gonna be wearing that when I play Breath of the Wild, because it's just silly and goofy. Even then though, they said that these things are going to be located in specific places in the game, and I think what that's going to do is probably just like Midna's helmet will be in the Arbiter's grounds. Tingle outfit will probably be on Tingle Island. Majora's Mask, I don't know where really it would be. Maybe a certain city. I don't know. And what was the other one? The Phantom armor will probably be like somewhere in Hyrule Castle, right? So I'm not because that's what they said. I don't know if I iterated that. My brain's kind of everywhere right now. But so there's those sets, and there's also a Korok mask. The Korok mask, basically, it's a Korok seed finder. It's just basically a mask you put on, and if you're close to it's kind of like the shrine finder. I forget what it was called. It's like so basically you can look around and find Korok seeds, which I mean is actually pretty substantive DLC. I think that alone is pretty good. Oop, my bad. I think that alone is pretty good. But then you deal with things and then there's the map feature that they said that they would do. There's two kinds of map features. There's one map feature which basically it'll tell you certain parts of the map. When you're looking at the map, it'll tell you how long you have spent in that area. So it tells you where you've explored and where you haven't explored, or things like that, which I think is very useful. I think it's going to be a very useful thing. Whether or not I think it's worth any money for DLC, sure, because it helps you out with the game, but it doesn't complete the game, if that makes any sense. And then there's what else is there? There's a certain amulet that you can get that if you use it in a certain spot, it creates a waypoint for you to be able to fast travel to. I think that's useful, and I think that's substantive DLC as well. Some people were saying they wanted it another way, but I mean, you have enough waypoints in that game. I don't think there's enough. It's not that there's not enough like places to fast travel to. There's 120 plus, there's about 130 areas and more that you can fast travel at. I don't think that's an issue, really, having more places to fast travel to. But then we get to the stuff that I'm a bit worried and a bit disappointed in Nintendo about. There is the new hard mode, which I was talking about. There was the basically what they did was they put in bits of that have been in other Zelda games on release, but they just tweaked it a little bit to make it seem a bit more substantive, if that makes any sense. So basically, what they did, the hard mode is just basically hero mode. The new hard mode is just basically hero mode, except for a couple of exceptions. That, number one, the enemies heal if you neglect them for too long. So you can't just kind of shoot whatever you want. You've got to kill something as soon as possible before they start to regenerate, which, okay. And then they have flying platforms with treasure chests on them, which is going to be really fun. Actually, I'm gonna love that. I'm gonna love going up in the sky and trying to find treasure chests. That's a whole other way to explore the world, I think, and that's really cool to me. And that's substantive. But having basically just putting in hero mode, a bit frustrating. Also, you have the sword, the Trial of the Sword, I think it's called, which it's basically just the Cave of Trials, or the amount of trials that you have in the other Zelda games already on release, and you didn't need to pay for it. But the only difference being that you don't start with anything at the beginning. You're completely naked. You have the shorts. You're completely, exposed, and you need to, accumulate equipment as you go along. I think they said there was 45 floors or 45 different stages of enemies. So that's a lot. And at the end, if you defeat it, your Master Sword, if you don't already know this, the Master Sword is 30 just normally. It does 30 damage. But when it's in not a shrine, when it's in a Divine Beast, or when it's in Hyrule Castle, it'll go up to 60, because apparently it's near Calamity Ganon, and that's the, whatever. But it'll always be 60 if you beat that. So it does give you an advantage. It's not just something to do. There's actually an incentive to do it, which I think is a smart way to do that, but this makes me concerned. This makes me particularly concerned about Nintendo and about how they're dealing with things. Nintendo, with their new console, have changed a lot, and they're really falling in suit with a lot of the other game developers. And I think that's an issue. Because when you look at what this DLC includes, am I frustrated about it? Yes, I am frustrated. The reason I'm frustrated is because this seems like something that another game developer would pull. Nintendo hasn't really pulled this kind of thing, and I've bought the DLC, so am I going to enjoy hero mode, and am I going to enjoy the trials? Of course I'm going to enjoy those, but and they are going to be different, which makes them more fun. But it's the DLC as it stands right now, I would say, is not worth half of $20. It's not worth $10. It isn't. I would say maybe $5. But the stuff that should have, there are stuff in that DLC that just should have been, it should have been included. There really is no excuse for it. It should have been included in the complete product. So that's my opinion. That's my opinion on it. If you guys have some other insights that maybe I didn't see, post in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys.